it from the scientists. Instead, the former president, the former secretary decided to put new resources not in the implementation of RA 10152, but in a new vaccine for dengue. That is undisputed. We came in and put in more money for something that has not been, that's not in the expanded program for immunization. 3.5 billion peso budget for the procurement of dengue vaccine to be used only for Region 3, 4, NCR, and later on Cebu, as an afterthought. Is 106% off, and thus greater than the budget for expanded program for immunization, which only has a budget of 3.36 billion pesos for the whole country for 9 vaccines, but the budget for the vaccine exceeded it by 0.6%. Mas malaki. In other words, mas malaki ang ginugol ng gobyerno rito sa isang vaccine na pinag-aaralan pa, di umano, lumalabas sa akin, pinag-aaralan pa ang resulta at ngayon nakakagulo tayo, kesa doon sa expanded program na kasama na lahat yung tikdas, lahat ng mga sakit. So medyo talaga mag-iimbestiga kami dito dahil doon. Procurement, at by the way, hindi dumaan sa General Appropriations Act yan. Hindi kasama yan sa General Appropriations Act. Procurement and implementation of the vaccination program was done, it would appear so far, with unprecedented haste. Patapos na ang administrasyon at may eleksyon na darating, napakabilis, and we can show that in the timeline. That has been proven. And I'm sorry, Secretary Green, every time you or President Aquino went abroad to talk with Sanofi, bumibilis, nag-accelerate yung approval. Those are just the facts, as they are. I cannot quarrel with the facts. The WHO recommended protocol for the introduction of new vaccines in the country was not totally followed to the peer. And it was found out here, and I was shocked, that we do not even have a functioning National Immunization Committee. And that means walang nag-aaral kung ano isasama sa immunization. Ano po? Parang yun ang kinakatakot ko. Pagka may krusonada, ibibigay na lang at hindi pag-aaralan. I hope I'm not being totally judgmental, but that would appear na kung walang immunization committee, nagiging lone ranger ang sino mang nagpapatakbo ng DOH na pwede niyang kunin kahit ano. When asked who decided to introduce them in Russia, we got finger pointing, and that's what we're intending to come out with later on. I finished with Dr. Dukusin last time, and I said I was not finished with her, and we will continue with that later on. It appears to me that dengue vaccine is an experimental vaccine. In fact, its phase 3 has not been completed at the time the vaccination program was implemented. The furthest I can surmise was that pwede to be administered by the private doctors. But to examine, and I repeat this, and we can look at it later on, to risk the lives of many of our people in a mass immunization program that has not been fully tested, isang bigwas, dinala natin sa halos 1 milyon na kabataan sa 3 at naging 4 na region later, I think is kind of dangerous so far. That's all I have to say so far. At hindi dumanga sa National Immunization Committee. Phase 3 commenced on June 11, 2017 and ended 2011, I'm sorry. And it ended on September 2017. There are 2, yeah, yes. I will give you time later on. You can do that now. I'm afraid right now what we're looking at is our officials decide to introduce the vaccine, bagong-bagong vaccine to the country without knowing its complete safety profile necessary to implement the immunization program safely. At nakikita natin yan, ang daming ninenervyos, ang daming tatakot, nagsisisiyan yung mga parents. I do not encourage and I condemn any act by parents. I do not justify it na public officials will be attacked on the elevator. And I'm referring to the incident yesterday. I certainly will not tolerate it, and I put the guards on warning here. that at the risk of your job, if anybody of our resource witnesses are attacked in the premises of the Senate, we will see to it that you are punished. I do not condone that. We have to look at this from the cold neutrality of an impartial tribunal with the support of our scientists, the important support of our scientists. We cannot handle this ourselves. It would appear, as even Dr. Doclusion said later on, after in the 28th and in January 3, she said, we're not prepared for this mass vaccination. Nirekomenda niya muna na ilagay doon sa funding. Pagkatapos, later on, January 3, sinabi niya, hindi kami totally prepared for this. That's on the record. DOH and DepEd, like I said, were not totally prepared, not completely prepared, whatever you want to choose. So when children given the vaccine started to die, parents were alarmed by their concerns, and apparently their concerns were ignored. That is why you would have PAO coming in and trying to do examinations. I do not look at their motives. I just see it as a reaction. That is why I'm happy that the PGH did this, and that's why from the very beginning we wanted the experts here, even as far back as December 2016 when we opened up the investigation. This should be decided by the experts. As any immunization program must be done, it must be the experts who must decide whether we use an immunization program. With the announcement of Sanofi that seronegative children have a higher risk for severe damage dengue post-dengue vaccine immunization, I think that caused more or less, undeniably, nagkaroon ng panic yung mga tao. Hindi niya masisisi. Because hindi naman sinegregate yung mga first time ka ba nagkaroon ng dengue, tinurukan na lang ng tinurukan, tapos biglang lumabas yung nagsusupply ng dengue vaccine, na sasabihin nila, ay, sandali, may danger. Severe dengue can occur. And I think the findings of the PGA so far show that in the 3 cases, dengue is the culprit. In the 6 cases, there were other things such as lupus, such as fever, such as other diseases that conspired, connived, or colluded with the injection, possibly. Because hindi pa out yung jury doon. I don't know if I'm misreading it. And the other 3, and again, this is an indictment of the DOH system that has occurred. Our hospitals apparently don't keep records. That is why yung mga namatay, hindi nabigyan ng records adequately yung PGH, kaya hindi nila ma-handle yung kabuuan. So, we're all on notice on this one. Kailangan mag-keep ng records ang mga hospital. Ito, inulit ko lang ito. I got this report only from my staff and I'm reading it for the first time and I'm just paraphrasing as I go along. The recent PGH report makes it clear that at least 3 children died of dengue shock syndrome even after receiving dengue vaccine, negating Sanofi's claim that no child has died when immunized with dengue vaccine. I don't know whether I can say that. Thank you, Mr. Arc de Triomphe. I don't need you to nod your head or shake your head. 6 of the children studied by PGH died within 30 days of receiving dengue vaccine. That's a fact. And perhaps, kung ano yung bata ang namatay within 30 days of receiving dengue vaccine, perhaps if there was more information, we may see more associated causality. But the fact is the rush, rightly or wrongly, resulted in indiscriminate and even reckless vaccination of children with pre-existing illness. In other words, hindi preparado talaga ang DOH ng panahon na yon, sapagkat kahit na sino, turok ng turok. So, ang nangyari tuloy, may madidisgrasya. Di pa natin alam kung ang talagang culprit ay yung dengue vaccine, pero may indicative data na napapakita niya so far. I don't know if that's enough. I don't think it is. 16. There are many reasons to believe that Sanofi pushed our officials to buy the vaccine even if they knew that there was potential problems. And we know enough to assert probable liability. I'm not saying probable. There will be liability. I'm correcting my staff here. For creating risk and inflicting harm and even death in some instances. We studied this very well last night and the previous night, and it keeps on getting reinforced that medyo talagang napakatulin at napaka-reckless ng paggagawa, and we will prove it later on. I'm deeply troubled that in Sanofi's recent statements, they talk about overall benefit, as if this is a zero-sum game, where we go with their product because more will benefit and must accept a reality that a small number may die. I think Sanofi should hold off on many things. Certainly, I am very, very open when I say Sanofi should set aside money, at least for those who are getting sick. And in the long pool, as I'm told, I think Secretary Duque told us once upon a time that this could go anywhere from 3 years to 20 years. In fact, one doctor friend, and I will not say his name, said that there could be at least 8,000 deaths kung talagang ito ang tatamaan. Of course, this is in the realm of speculation. That's not evidence. I will repeat that. That's not evidence. But you can imagine na talagang nagimbal ang bayan, nagulo ang mga magulang, natakot ang mga tao. Kailangan ngayon, all of us, including Sanofi especially, and everybody, I'm not here looking for the blame alone, to fix the blame. I'm here to fix the problem. We have to fix a broken system. I've said that many times. Yun ang nagiging problema, and this is just, I guess, an editorial on my part. Doctors whose priorities change stop saving lives and instead starts making money. Big money. Believe me, I operated a hospital that was moribund in Olongapo. Nanggawa ko ng mga doktor and I told them, try to take care of the patients. Here, don't charge. Here, you charge. Pero kumisan, hindi ma-control. Sometimes I wish we were in Cuba. But that is the fact. That is not an indictment of all doctors, by the way. But there is a tendency, and perhaps gusto nilang malaki yung ginugol nila makapag-aral, makabawi. Lalo na raw yung mga neurosurgeon. Nanginginig na yung kamay after a while. Tama rin yun. Hindi ako nagkukuhan. But I'm not judging. So, again, the call is for the DOH to step up. Our children are in trouble. Parents believe that immunization is good for them. And because of all the brouhaha, they are doubting whether they are immune. Na-immunize pero natatakot sila na immune ba ito o magkukos ba ito ng kamatayan sa amin o ng katakot-takot na hirap at pighati. So, yan ang nangyayari yan. I will reserve my position later. I'm sorry I had to go into that para lang mai-adjust natin ang takbo nitong hearing. Again, I apologize to my colleagues because it's not easy to research. But that is the way it is. So we will start now. By asking Dr. Ducusin at the last hearing, sabi mo, December 28, nag-recommend ka ng Dengvaxia ay maisama sa EPI para mabigyan ng pondo ng DOH. And if I now show the timeline, I would appreciate it very much because mas ma-appreciate ang tao yung timeline. Tama po ba yan?
Noong December 10 po ay...
December 28 muna.
December 28 po ay yun po yung sumulat po ako kay Secretary Garin para po humingi po ng exemption po sa Executive Order number 48 para po bumili po nung dengue vaccine.
So talagang bibilin. Hinihingi na kayo ng exemption.
Opo, dahil po ako po ay in-inform po na meron pong SARO po na marirelease po noong 29.
So I just have to ask you on that question because nakakatakot yung sinabi mo. Basta may pera, bumili tayo. Gano'n ba yan? O hindi ba dapat kung may pera, gamitin natin yung pera sa tamang kagasusin na pinag-aralan? Pero yun ang dating sa akin ng statement nyo. May pera sa SARO, hanapan natin ng pera, gasusan natin. Tama yan?
It was because, sir, that I was
Yes or
informed.
no? Tama yan?
Pakiulit po yung tanong po no, sir.
Hindi, sabi nyo, basta may pera, ano ba sa akin, may pera ho kasi na nakita sa Saro. So, recommend ko na itong Dengvaxia.
Hindi naman po ibig sabihin po na may pera po, dire-diretso po natin bibilhin po yung
Sa inyo nanggaling yun, di sa akin.
commodity po yun. Sorry.
Hindi ko in-invento yun. Sa inyo nanggaling yan. And then on January 3. January 3 ba? 7. I'm sorry, 7. Dr. Dukisin admitted to the FEC formulary. Ang formulary po, para ma-update natin yung mga tao, yun po nagsasabi, pwede nang ipamigay sa mga public. Ano po? Pwede yung bumili na. Ang gobyerno, I'm sorry, nahihilo na ako. Yung pala doon sa FDA, yung binigyan ng Certificate of Product Registration, pwede bumili na ang mga pagkaraniwan, yung mga may doktor, no? Sinabi nyo that the office is not prepared to implement the Dengvaxia immunization program.
Opo, sinabi ko po yun noong January 7, the first FEC meeting po. Sapagkat po ang dengue vaccine po na scheduling po niya ay every 6 months po na ang bawat estudyante po ay bibigyan po ng 3 doses po ng dengue vaccine. So, ang ibig sabihin po yun, it will last po even for 1 year just to follow up po each of these student.
At did you say na siguro hintayin mo natin 2017? Hindi nyo sinabi gano'n. Hindi, nakita nyo, kulang ang tao niya.
Wala po akong nasabi po na ganoon. Kasi po, ang karaniwan po na ginagawa po namin, kapag po ito ay na-identify na po namin na nagiging issue na po sa implementasyon po ng babakuna, kami po ay nagtatawag po ng orientation and planning workshop po para matugunan po kung ano po yung mga maaari pong problema po sa implementasyon po ng pagbabakuna.
I will cite what you said. Dr. Maramba Lasarte asked if the program is ready to carry out the pilot implementation with the given time frame. And Dr. Dukusin admitted that their office is not prepared for this. She emphasized the lack of manpower, kulang ang tao, and capacity to perform the monitoring and follow-up immunization. Given that the schedule for the dengue vaccine is at 0, 6, and 12 months. She said that this will be the first immunization program wherein the schedule of follow-up is 1 year. She mentioned that if the dengue vaccination is desired to be implemented immediately, a demonstration project may be more practical and feasible. Tama po yan.
Opo. Nung sinabi ko po yun na demonstration na project, ito po ay tumutugon na rin po doon sa pag-implementasyon po, doon po sa 3 rehiyon po, yung Region 3, Region 4A, at saka NCR. Sapagkat po ang nation, ang pinag-uusapan po natin is only 3 regions out of the 7 regions. At saka po yung ating target po dito is only the grade 4 students po in public schools age 9 years old and above.
At kahit na yan ang target nyo, yung edad na gano'n, at anong grades, no? Nadagdagan pa yung region ng Region 7.
Nadagdagan po yung sa Region 7 po sa community base po dahil po sa rekomendasyon po ng second dengue expert panel po na tinawag po ni former Secretary Ubial.
Pero sinabi po ninyo na hindi kayo prepared at dapat mag-demonstration. Kung hindi kayo prepared, kung hindi kayo nakahanda, at hiningi mo na magkaroon muna ng demonstration, ginagawa mo yung tungkulin mo na huwag natin biglayin, dahan-dahan lang tayo. Tama po ba yan? Yes or no?
Tama ho yun.
Okay.
Dahil po doon lang sa 3 regions out of the 17 regions lang po.
Tama po yan. Hindi kayo prepared doon sa 3 regions. Halos 830,000 ang tinatarget doon. Eh bakit yung i-recommenda kung totoo yun? Hindi kayo prepared, eh bakit yung ipapa-exempt sa formulary? Bakit yung papa-exempt sa formulary? Ang bantay ng bayan, yung formulary. I will answer you because I will go back to the history. Hindi ba po totoo na nung naandoon sa Paris si Secretary Garin on December 1 with the President? That they wrote you, he wrote you a memo si Kwan, hindi malabo eh. Dr. Garin, you wrote a memo to Dr. Santiago. Nando kayo sa Paris si President Aquino on December 1. On December 2, nagmemo kayo kay Dr. Santiago. Di po ba? Dr. Santiago was at that time OIC of FDA. Dr. Santiago, is that correct?
I can't recall sending a memo, Your Honor.
I have the memo. So, is that correct? Email. Is that correct, Dr. Santiago?
Yes, Your Honor. I
Please
received
answer.
an email. Yes, Your Honor. I
So,
received an email on December 2, 2015 from
And the
Secretary
email,
Garin.
what does it say? It says, ano ba? Iba na aprobahan yan?
Your Honor, let me read the text of the email.
I will read it to you. When will, hi Lulu. When will the CPR for dengue vaccine be probably released? Thank you.
Yeah, that's correct, Your Honor. And I replied that we are trying to have the final assessment report done until second week of December po. The evaluators are just finalizing evaluation report of the safety and efficacy part of the dossier. I'll keep you posted po, ma'am. So that's
In other words, your secretary, tinatawagan kayo, kailan matatapos yung CPR? Yung Certificate of Public Registration ng FDA. And that is pagkatapos mag-meeting sa Sanofi ng presidente natin, si Benigno Aquino, na nagpunta doon for a climate change conference but had time to meet with Sanofi for the second time. And after he left, nag-email sa inyo at pinapollow up yung CPR. And then after that CPR, after that, the CPR, it was followed by December. Hindi pa kayo sinasagot, Secretary Garin. On December 10, 2015, you submitted a proposal to DBM for Health Facilities Enhancement Program funding and procurement of 1 million doses of dengue vaccine. Hindi po ba? Yes, ma'am. I'm recognizing you.
Your Honor, the email I sent to Director Lulu Bravo was because when
Lulu Santiago.
To Director Santiago was because when the dengue vaccine was discussed, I find it pointless to discuss it if no CPR is coming. So I merely inquired. In the manner that you are saying it verbally is different from the way I emailed it. It was a simply, it was a
I just read the email. I didn't say anything.
Your Honor, and if I may move forward, yes, I did forwarded the request of the immunization
Excuse me.
program.
You know, Secretary Gary, I'm trying to be fair to everyone here. I just said an email. Do not try to arrogate and say na in the manner that I described. The facts are incontrovertible. You were both in meeting with Sanofi in Paris. And then immediately thereafter, namadali natin, and I will go later on and show you a pattern. December 2, pinayagan, sabi hinihingi nyo na yung CPR.
Sir, hindi ko po hinihingi. Tinatanong ko kung magkakaroon ba ng CPR. Because I find it useless to discuss the dengue vaccine if no CPR is forthcoming.
No, hindi ba tinanong mo dahil nag-usap kayo tungkol sa dengue vaccine doon?
That's why, Your
Nag-usap
Honor,
kayo na sa President Aquino. Otherwise, what did you talk about? Ang ganda ng...
Your Honor, that's why I
Ganda ng
inquired
Paris?
if a CPR is forthcoming, because if no CPR is forthcoming, then I will directly inform the President na imposible po ang dengue vaccine kasi walang CPR.
So, that is your interpretation. But then on December 10, you submitted right away a proposal. Wala pa yung CPR. You submitted a proposal to DBM for Health Facilities Enhancement Program funding and procurement of 1 million doses of dengue vaccine. That is 9 days after that memo or that email.
Your Honor, at that point of time, ilang beses po, hindi lang po yan yung panahon. Ang dami pong proposal na pinapasubmit, even with my predecessors, at hindi naman po napupondohan. The finalization, kung wala pong CPR, usually we update because it's one of the requirements. There's a checklist that the DBM actually requires.
Opo. I'm just citing yung events, December 10. And then, all of a sudden, December 11, 2015, andito ba si Dr. Baquilod? Ayun. Dr. Baquilod submitted the justification of the procurement of dengue vaccine under the National Dengue Prevention Program. Wala pa sa EPI yan, biglang napasok agad na gusto mong isubmit. Bakit ka nagkaganon? Sinusundan ko na yung timeline, ha? Dito ho kayo sa tabi ng maganda at mabunyi at magaling na senadora natin. Masyado sunod-sunod eh. You're still on the road. Yes. Go ahead.
Unang-una, magandang umaga po, Your Honors.
Okay.
Nung December 10, na-release sa akin ng instructions from the Office of the Secretary to issue the justification.
Kailan yun? Kailan?
December 10.
So galing kay Secretary to issue the justification?
The instructions was relayed to me to issue a justification. Kasi po, ang dengue vaccine na isama sa listahan na sinubmit ng FHO sa Office of the Secretary. So on that, then after that, I relayed the instruction to my division chief.
Sino? Dr. Dokusin?
No, sir.
Si
Dr.
Bianson?
Yes, sir. To come up with that
Sorry.
justification po.
So, sino nagbigay sa inyo, nag-order na bigyan mo ng justification? Dr. Garin?
Sir, it was relayed to me kasi from
Ay, sino? Hindi yung how.
nung magbigay ng instruction ng Office of the Secretary, Secretary Garin to Dr. Joyce Ducusen to submit the list of vaccines including the justification. It was relayed to me, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I'll go back to you later. On December 18, there's an email of Dr. Lourdes Santiago, FDA OIC, to Grace Medina. Is Grace Medina here? Di ba niya tinawag? Tinawag ko na. Can you subpoena her? I mean, I host a way. One of the evaluators of the Vaxxer, copy furnished Melody Samudio, asking status on the completion of the Vaxxer review, as she will meet Secretary Garin regarding this matter. This was made pursuant to the follow-up of Secretary Garin. Is that correct, Dr. Santiago?
Your Honor, if I recall, was that the May letter, Your Honor? I'm not familiar.
December
po.
18. It's on the left side here. December 18? No. May email kayo. Ha? Ito yung email. Hindi ba maliwanagan? Pwede bang... Pati patay lang muna yung ilaw at... Can you read it, Rudy? I cannot read it from it. Ito pala. Ito. Sorry, here. I've got a copy. Thank you. From MIC Santiago at fda.gov.ph, subject to Dzxl Medina at FDA, Melody Samudio, Samudio at FDA. Please advise when can we release the CPR. Best regards. And this is attached the email of Secretary Garin that says when can the dengue vaccine be approved. That's December 18.
Yeah, that's correct, Your Honor, but I don't recall saying that I'll be meeting Secretary Garin po.
Meron nakalagay dito yung sa email nakalagay yung email niya Parang attachment, parang pursuant to the order, parang gano'n na sila lumalabas sa akin.
Your Honor,
As part of the thread. Sorry, I'm not aminin niya.
Nare-recall ko lang po yung nakalagay na please advise when the CPR will be released. And then I forward it to the Center for Drugs because they are the technical division who does the review of all the product applications.
Kaya nga po. So, gumagalaw yung papel. December 18. Ano po?
That was part of the December 2, I suppose. It's a
Right,
continuation
right,
of the December 2 follow-up.
Thank you, ma'am. And I'm not going to ask you what happened, but I do know that on December 22, 2015, FDA approved the marketing of the Dengvaxia. FDA issued certificate of product registration. CPR.
Your Honor, can I clarify lang po? Kasi as far as FDA is concerned, we would always look at the time when the application was forwarded to FDA, and that was January 21, 2015. And finally, all the chemistry, clinical and non-clinical documents were submitted to us in May 12, on May 12, 2015.
Then why did you have to ask the others?
Your Honor, they are the Center for Drug Regulation Research is the center in charge on the evaluation po.
Sino? Sila Ami Vianzon?
The office of, no,
Sino?
the office of now Dr. Ko, but it was actually Melody Zamudio, who was
Melody
the
Zamudio.
OIC at that time po.
Who later on would sign the CPR, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So Zamudio, that you also emailed, signed the CPR on December 22.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, malinaw yan ha. So lumalakad yung papel na mabilis.
Your Honor, I would say that it follows the process po. Kasi yun pong timeline na sinasabi namin sa
Kung
FDA.
nagpa-follow ng process, ba't kailangan i-follow up?
Your Honor, in our experience po, no, there were actually follow-ups made by the Department of Health not only for dengue vaccine but even for the MDR-TB case, the drug
We're
indicated
talking
for
about
TB.
dengue vaccine. I don't know about the other cases, but this is a prima para drug na minamadali natin, lumalabas sa akin. Yun ang lumalabas sa akin. Ha?
Your Honor.
Pag pinagdikit-dikit mo lahat yung dates from Paris or even from China at the first meeting, biglang bumibilis yan. I'll go to China later on.
Your
Yes.
Honor, the email I sent on December 2 was an offshoot of the December 1 meeting because I didn't want to discuss the dengue vaccine with the President if the CPR is not forthcoming. The
Who
December
did not want to
18,
discuss?
myself, Your Honor, kasi napag-usapan nga po dun sa December 1, syempre after nun tatanungin ako. So yung una kong tinanong sa FDA, I emailed them, may lalabas ba itong CPR or wala? Kasi kung wala namang CPR, it's useless discussing
So
it.
that means the President was already decided to buy Dengvaxia.
No, Your Honor, it
No,
was...
let me finish. After all, this is a second meeting with Sanofi in an international setting. And right after that, nag-i-email kayo. So, anong authority nyo? Nasabihin, alabas mo na. Ako, nanggaling rin ako sa cabinet. Pag sinabi ng Pangulo sa akin, gawin mo. Kung tama naman yung gagawin, itutulak ko. Kung hindi naman tama, magko-complain ako sa Presidente. And I've done that.
Your Honor, as Secretary of Health, nung napag-usapan nga doon na may dengue vaccine, and then there were discussions, and I believe one of the secretaries also said may syntaxes. Siyempre, on my part, as Secretary of Health, I have to inform them kung meron or walang CPR na forthcoming.
Hindi, alam mo
But then
naman
I
meron
can-
because you said, when? When will the CPR be issued? When? Kailan? There's a
Precisely,
sense of urgency when you say when. Parang ako, nasaan yung report? At ko, kailan mo lalabas yan?
Your Honor,
Hmm.
upon assumption in office, I have been attending meetings in the Secretary's office and patuloy na po yung regulatory timeline which started in 2011. On the December 18 email, Your Honor, I did that because when the immunization program proposed the 4 vaccines, napag-usapan din namin na walang CPR ang dengue vaccine. So before finally endorsing it to the Office of the Executive Secretary, I had to be sure that a CPR is forthcoming kasi kung wala, we would not go to the nitty-gritty of all the discussions and all the
Pero wala naman
proposals.
masama doon. Kung wala, edi wala nasaktan. Meron.
Precisely, Your Honor.
Ngayon, on December 22, 2015, Secretary Garin submitted a memorandum for the President through Executive Secretary Paquito Ochoa Jr. justifying the request to use savings for the purchase of dengue vaccine. In the same memorandum, Secretary Garin explained that the purchase of dengue vaccines was not included in the 2016 General Appropriation Act because of the time, at the time of submission of agency budget proposal, the dengue vaccine was undergoing evaluation by the Food and Drug Administration.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, okay, that's correct. All right.
Your Honor,
let me now go on.
Your Honor, we submit the proposed budget sometime in March of 2015 for the 2016 budget.
I'm aware of that. I was in the government. I have to submit my budget early on, but this was not part of it. I'm sorry I have to do this. I don't want to do this to you. I just have to go on the facts, no? We are tasked here to do a job, and I don't relish it, quite frankly. Hindi ko gusto talaga ito nangyayari na ganito. On December 23, 2015, memorandum were present issued by DBM Secretary Abad recommending funding of projects from fiscal year 2015 savings from the miscellaneous personal benefit fund and pension gratuity fund so they can be obligated on or dispersed before the end of December 31. So the train moves on. Now this DBM is now pushing it. On December 28, DBM asked EPI to prepare procurement documents for the dengue vaccine. Dr. Dukusin asked for exemption from the formulary kahit na sinasabi niya hindi namin kaya in January 7. Hindi namin kaya yan, pero humingi na kayo na isama yan sa EPI. On December 29, kabilis naman ito, 3 bilyong kalahati. SARO was released, signed by the Office of the President. Kabilis. And then on January 2016, Secretary Garin informed Dr. Julius Lecciones about the plan to implement Dengvaxia. And on January 7, the first FEC meeting took place, the formulary. They had a meeting. During the FEC meeting, Dr. Dukusin said that they are not ready to implement. Ano po? Yes, Dr. Dukusin.
Meron ho kayong na-mention that DBM asked the EPI po to prepare the procurement documents in one of the timelines.
Siyempre, hindi naman sila maglalagay kung walang request.
Sir, it's because wala po akong maalala na ang DBM po ay tumawag po sa akin para po
Hindi ko
mag-prepare
sinabing
po ng
tumawag.
design.
Nag-request
Request.
ng EPI. Hindi ko sinabing tinawagan.
Kasi wala po akong nakausap po from DBM sa
Pero,
akin po pag-alala.
Yung mahiwaga rito, lumalakad eh. Lumalakad ng mag-isa. Ganun ba yan? Anyway, let me go now to another topic. With the permission again of our colleagues. I would like to go on the matter of FDA issued the permit on the 22nd of December, CPR. Is that correct, Dr. Santiago?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Now, because of that, lumakad na yung papel, nagkaroon na tayo ng pambili, and I will go to that later on. But let me just go now to Dr. Miss Puno. Nga ba first name mo, Miss Puno? I'm very bad at names.
Sharid, sir.
Sharid. All right, okay. When you entered, when you assumed office as FDA director, did you think that Sanofi complied with its post-marketing commitment?
Yes, I have that presumption of regularity, sir.
Alright. Hindi ba, pagka may bagong immunization program, di ba dapat may post-marketing assessment yan? Di ba? To find out safety, efficacy, and all that, right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Mahirap pagka hindi ka doktor eh. Mag-aaral ka lalo. Safety muna. Tapos yung efficacy.
that would have been assumed before the.
You assume efficacy?
No, because comes before before a post-marketing. You finish with your phase 3. That's clinic efficacy and safety already.
Oh,
And then you
efficacy and
do-
safety.
When you do post-marketing, you look at the safety of the product already.
Correct,
Because
okay.
it's already implemented in the market.
All right. Now, did you have occasion to call the attention of any of your people in FDA concerning relations with drug companies?
Recently, sir, there was an incident about the first. I just like to go back to the history. I've issued a circular last November 9 pertaining to prohibiting clients not to transact business in the FDA center, rather to go to FDA Action Center for any of their queries or complaints or applications. So basically, sir, after November 9, I was
And
I
this
was
is
informed.
after Sanofi issued that, I don't know what you call it, that missive that says it can cause severe dengue for people who are seronegative, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you're taking due diligence.
Yes, sir. Yes,
na
sir.
FDA kayo, di ba? Natural lang yan. And what happened then?
I was informed because I was informed that that Sanofi, okay, a representative of Sanofi, came to FDA to November 7. That was December 7. Okay, to submit a USB to the head of the Center for Drug.
And what did you find irregular about that, if you did?
It is irregular, sir, because of the fact that, number one, okay, clients are not allowed to transact or to do any business in the FDA headquarters. They're only allowed to transact business in the FDA Action Center. Okay, this is to avoid any familiarity, especially with the evaluators, sir.
And FDA violated that? Oh, no, sorry, the Sanofi violated that.
Yes, but Sanofi violated it because probably I don't know if they were informed, but the circular that I've released is for all the directors in the FDA. So the FDA director should be responsible, in implementing this directive.
And when drug companies go in there to protect FDA, para hindi kayo masisita, hindi kayo mapagbibintangan na may collusion kayo, meron logbook, I presume.
Yes, sir, meron pong logbook. And then if there's a stakeholder or a company that would like to seek advice, okay, we allow it, but the center director should write the Office of the Director General for FYI purposes.
No, so any memorandum, any letter, any USB, as you say, has to be recorded sa logbook.
Yes, sir. Any USB, for example, a client going to FDA should go to FDA Action Center, because it's only through FDA Action Center that you can, that your submission will be official, because there's a tracking or logging number.
All right, that's good. Because malalaman natin kung sino pumasok at magiging official talaga yung dokumento nila. Ano? Meron ba kayo nakita nag-violate? Violation ba yung ginawa ng Sanofi?
Recently po, meron pong nag-violate.
Yes. Ano nangyari?
Actually, Your Honor, nagalit ako no? Kasi I feel that, they are not, they are not respecting the authority, especially the FDA. And I issued a memo to the center director.
But prior to this, there was a memo that says no, all dealings with FDA must be done through the Action Center, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's why
Yes, Your
nagalit
Honor.
kayo, may violation.
Opo.
And kanino binigay yung USB? At paano nyo nalaman may pinagbigyan ko sino?
Actually, may nag-report ho, nanghingi ho ako ng, may nag-report ho sa akin coming from the office, from the FDA headquarters, na meron pong Sanofi representative na gustong mag-abot ng USB sa center director.
And who is his center director?
His name is Dr. Benjico.
Benjico. Natanggap naman ni Benji yun.
According to the incident report given to me, it was received by a staff of Center for Drug. Her name is Miss Jenny Dino.
Jenny?
Dino.
Dino. Ang daming Dino ngayon sa Pilipinas. Ano? Anyway. So natanggap.
Opo.
And because of that, nagalit kayo because at that time, nagkakagulo na sa Dengvac siya. Ganun ba yan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Nag-iingat kayo, di ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Totoo ba yung sinasabi ng FDA Director? Benjico, you're Benjico, right?
Good morning. Yeah. The facts of the Director Puna are correct. The circumstances regarding the USB are for the submission actually of the presentation that Sanofi made last November 23 at the Food and Drug Administration. So last November 23, they came to present.
No, I'm not asking you kung anong laman nun.
Apa.
Pero right now, ikaw lang nakakaalam nun.
Well, yeah, it's just their documents on there.
Yeah. Ko, ikaw lang ang nakakaalam nun dahil hindi alam. Alam mo na ba yun kung anong laman nun, Director General?
No, I don't know, Your Honor.
Secretary Duque, are you aware of that? So, sa buong FDA, buong Department of Health, ang nakakaalam lang, Benjico. Is that correct?
Well, no, because I did not read it.
Oh.
And second, yes, we just received the USB. Sir, we just received the USB, and then we forwarded it to the Office of the Secretary, actually, for that.
So, in effect, you violated the memo?
Yeah.
Knowingly?
No.
No? You suggest you violated the memo.
Well, it's not that it's knowingly. It's just that there was a request from the Office of the Secretary to receive,
My
to
question is
forward
simple. You
documents.
violated the memo,
Yes.
and you sent it to the DOH. Mr. DOH, Secretary Duque?
I'm not aware that any document was given to me. So I'd like to ask my my EA.
Who's
With
your
your
EA?
permission,
Melissa?
Chairman.
Melissa?
Sir, at the time, because there was a dengue task force and the technical subcommittee wanted the latest data coming from Sanofi. So we were asking for data submitted to them on the announcement of Sanofi.
So lahat na sinasabi ng announcement ng Sanofi pinapadala sa inyo?
We wanted data to guide the task force.
But don't you think, Mr. Dr. Benjico, you should have told your FDA Director General?
In retrospect, yes, sir. So, and I apologize in public, ma'am, for that.
Well,
For that lapse.
the point is, you went straight to DOH and not through the Director General. And at that time, agitated na yung Director General dahil FDA ang nagbigay ng permission, right? Now, tingnan natin. Ano ba yung nakalagay dyan? Meron ka bang kopya nun?
As far as I passed it on, actually, I never read the documents. In the documents that were
Paano mo
provided.
nalaman dapat ibibigay sa DOH kung hindi mo pa nababasa yung dokumento? Come on.
Well, sir, in reality, they just passed the documents, and these were the documents that were being used for their substantiating their claim in the change of label. So, this was presented already during the November 23. So, these were just additional data that were already the basis for their documents, and we just passed it on. This was the full study itself, and it was very thick. It was very thick, and I did not bother to read it. I just passed it on to the Department of Health for their information.
So, na-exempt na sila. Ngayon, ang pinasabi mo, may pinasok ka na, it ticked me off, no? Exchange of label.
No, not exchange of label, sir.
Changing of label.
Yes. They request.
I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Changing of label.
Yes. there is a request for the pharmaceutical company to change the label.
That was when?
That was, it's just a request made.
That was 11 May 2015.
No, sir, that's a different story altogether.
Hmm? I have a memo here. Huh?
Hindi.
November 2015.
Sir, magkaiba yung dalawa. Magkaiba yung dalawa. Let's go back a little, sir. The change. No, that has nothing to do with the current. What happened in November 2017 was that, if I may, what they did was they presented on November 23. They presented to the staff of the Center for Drug additional data regarding the results of their long-term follow-up studies.
Oh, hindi ba importante yun para malaman kung yung safety na compromise?
Opo. So pagkatapos...
Importante po ba yun, Dr. Lupisan? Dr. Marian and Dr. Carlos, are these important documents? Eh bakit nakatago yan?
Hindi po nakatago.
Nakatago. Binigay mo doon sa DOH, hindi mo binigay doon sa Director General.
Hindi po nakatago. They just presented... Let me finish. They just presented the
yes,
data.
Sir, I'll let you finish, but go to the point.
Yes. So they presented the data, and when they presented the data, we informed them that they must submit the full documents, all the documents pertaining to the conclusion of why they want to request for a change in labeling.
So
because
you did
eventually, what
so
they want...
you did read it.
I only read their PowerPoint presentation, but not the full documents that they submitted.
Binasa. Sabi mo hindi binasa. Ngayon, binasa mo na. Don't try to shift your answers because you'll be found out. I have all the documents right now.
Sige, sir.
Binasa mo.
Binasa ko lang
Okay,
yung
alright.
PowerPoint presentation po nila. Pero
PowerPoint
hindi...
is like a summary, right? Pag
Opo.
binasa mo yan, di ba
Pero
binasa
hindi
yung
po
text?
yung buong documents, yung buong file documents na naging basis ng PowerPoint presentation po
Anong
nila.
date ng PowerPoint na yan?
November 23.
Anong date?
November 23 po.
Anong date?
2017. I don't remember the day. When, but I know it's November 23, 2017.
So this is for the change of label? Ganun ba
Opo,
yun?
it's just for a change in
Why would they
labeling.
want to change the label?
Because it, apparently from the presentation, what
This is
they...
2017 now, right?
Opo, last year lang po, a few months ago. What happened was, now they found out in their long-term follow-up studies that there would be risk for seronegative patients.
So binabago ang produkto.
Pinabago po yung labeling ng produkto. Hindi na po nila sinasabi na for everybody na po. Ang sinasabi na nila, gusto nilang palitan at sabihin na dun sa mga seronegative, dapat hindi po binibigay yung bakuna.
Instructions.
Opo,
Label.
opo, dun sa indication
Siya
po.
pa rin.
Opo, ito pa din
Kasi
po.
na yung binago label, ibig sabihin binabago mo yung pangalan. Kasi sinasabi mo, gusto lang baguhin yung instructions.
Opo,
Para may
ganun po.
caveat, di ba?
Opo.
Ito, Dengvax pa rin to. Pero ngayon, nakalagay sa label ngayon, wag kayong magpapaineksyon ko kayo ay hindi pa nagpapaga-dengue. Yung ba nakalagay doon?
Yes.
Okay, kita mo, haba-haba ng prosesyon mo. Aabutin tayo sa simbahan eh.
But that is
Did you
well,
what is the status of that request?
we have not entertained the change in labeling yet because all of the documents provided to us were advanced copies. We call it advanced copies. And the advanced copies were like I said, I forwarded the advanced copy to the task force of the Department of Health. And then the one that was submitted to the Food and Drug Administration, the one that was provided was the hard copies, and we waited for it. When I got it, I forwarded it to the dengue task force of the Food and Drug.
Now, let me ask a simple question, Dr. Duque. Let's say, pinalitan yung label na sinasabi delikado. Palagay mo, papayag yung mga bata magpa-ineksyon pagkatapos? Pinalitan nila yung label. Delikado. O ikaw ay may seronegative, papayag kaya yung nanay?
Well, it has to be
Pagkatapos
explained.
magkaroon ng kalaki-laki iskandalo.
I think the change of labeling is par for the course. It
Tama
does
yun.
happen.
Tama yun. Alam ko,
Oo.
pero ang tanong ko sa iyo, hindi yung par for the course.
Yes.
Ang tanong ko, ano reaction ng parents na nakakaintindi? Papayag ba kayo? Nag-anunsyo sila, tapos binabago ngayon. Siguro, wag muna tayong pa-eleksyon hanggang sigurado. Tama po ba yan?
I can only guess that they will
Yeah,
be...
you're a parent,
sir.
right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
You're a grandparent, right?
That's right.
Great-grandparent? No,
Grandparent, I am.
sige, so,
Yeah,
ang
four.
magiging reaction mo, di caution, right?
That's right.
Extreme
Yes,
caution.
sir. That's right.
Right.
Precisely.
Delikado, right?
Yes, sir.
Ano sinasabi ko? Now, let me go to another change of law. That was hidden from the department. Ilan ang tinatago niyo mga ganyan?
Sorry, sir. What was hidden from the department?
Alam mo na nagkakagulo sa Dengvaksya, nagbigay sa Dengvaksya. Alam mo may memo. Bakit hindi mo ilabas yung mga binibigay sa iyo?
It was provided
Ikaw may
naman po.
malapit ka ba sa Sanofi?
There's no relationship between I and
Sinabi ko
Sanofi.
malapit, hindi ko sinasabi ko may relationship ka. Malay ko kung may
Apo.
boyfriend ka doon o may girlfriend ka doon.
Wala po.
Wala.
Wala po.
Sige. Anyway, to make a long story short, let me say, this is not the first time Sanofi has asked for a change of label. Is that correct, Mr. Triumph?
Product label change are complete standards of the industry, are done on every single pharmaceutical product or vaccine from every single manufacturer in every single country in the world. Every single national regulatory agencies is reviewing probably thousands or tens of thousands of product label changes every year. Your Honor.
I can hardly decipher your French intonated English, but anyway, is it not true that there was a request for change of label earlier on, I think in 2015? I will read to you the request addressed to Janet Loreto Garin. Kind attention, Melody M. Samudio, OIC Center for Drug Rehabilitation Research. And this is dated 11 May 2015. Dear Ms. Samudio, this is to formally apply of the below mentioned product for generic labeling exemption for products requiring special handling for 3 years. Dengue tetravalent vaccine live attenuated Dengvaksha MD. Kindly note the product was submitted for initial MR application. Please find attached documents for your perusal. License to operate packaging materials, carton, label, insert. We hope you find everything in order to manage your kind approval. Thank you very much. Respectfully, Sanofi Pasteur Jervin Papelleras, Head of Regulatory and Quality Affairs. Who is Mr. Papelleras here?
Mr. Papelleras is the head of regulatory affairs.
I know, I just read his title. Did he ask for an exemption for labeling, right?
So it's a submission for a change of label, and as I said before, there are thousands or tens of thousands of label changes that are reviewed by every single national regulatory agencies in the world, and it's standard process for every single pharmaceutical product, be it a drug or be it a vaccine, Your Honor.
Yeah. Give me a minute, because All right. Session is resumed. I will go back later on to. All right. Insofar as the Invaxa labeling is concerned, the original name of the Invaxa was the generic name. That was what you were using, right?
Sorry, you
CY.
CYD, it was previously the name of the compound until it becomes a registered product.
But you did ask for an exemption, right? You did require that no longer the Invaxa no longer be changed. Is that correct?
Can you repeat the question, Your Honor?
Moment. In other words, you asked that the Invaxa be used and not the generic name. Because by that time, you had already prepared all the boxes, all the labels, everything, and that included the Invaxa. And you just wanted to do that, right?
So at that time, I don't know if we had prepared the boxes or the packaging, as you're saying. At that time, I can tell you it's May 2015. So we had submitted already for registration in January, and we were in the process of submitting additional information leading to the registration. This exact request, I've asked to have the document, and I will be able to answer to you in a few minutes.
No, I have it here. I have it here.
If you can give it to me, I don't have it with me. So.
Well, you take a look at it. Bigyan mo sa kanya. Ano yung labeling? Ano yung sinasabi niya? Oh, yes. Are you...
Sir, from the, if I may answer,
Sorry,
sir.
Lechong, yes.
Sir, in my experience, sir, when you ask for generic labeling, sir, that is a request usually of a pharmaceutical company, so that not to change label because it may be costly for the company. So therefore, by Philippine law, you're supposed to have a generic labeling attached to a brand name.
Yeah.
Now, if you request for the exemption, it means that the company would like, of course, to save on the cost. So that is basically, sir, my understanding.
Sounds like a legitimate request.
That's a legitimate request, Your Honor. But my other idea is that if the company would like not to change the generic labeling, so they might have prepared it for a long time, because it might be costly for them to change the generic labeling. That's my, sir, sorry for that interpretation.
May I have the document back, please? What date was that? November? Anong date yan?
11/2015.
Can you go back to the timeline? I remember now. May 11, 2015 timeline, please. Before that.